forgiveness, and how forgiveness is really sort of the foundation piece to all healing. And I think, Lord, I need healing. Is what I think, actually. I think forgiveness is something that's really, really hard for all of us. If I speak for myself, I can tell you quite honestly that I don't know which is harder for me, to forgive someone or to really receive forgiveness. I'd rather imagine you sometimes are in the same category. Forgiving someone means, in our little brains, that we kind of have to give up something. We have to give up that grudge we've held on to for such a very long time. And I don't know about you, but I'm very fond of my grudges. I've named them all. I know exactly where they are. I know when I can pull them out and use them to get some energy, or lob them at somebody if that's what I think I need to do. But in order to forgive, I have to let that grudge go. It has to go away. It's not even that it can sort of be put away in a different closet. It just has to not exist anymore. And that's really, really hard to do. But sometimes I think that receiving forgiveness, truly accepting forgiveness, is the more difficult task. In order to truly receive forgiveness, we have to be vulnerable, don't we? We have to sort of lay ourselves bare in front of the person from whom we need forgiveness. And for some moments, I mean, we've probably all been through this. You say to somebody, you know, I rather imagine you already know this, but I really, really, really messed up. And I feel really awful, and I'm really a horrible person for doing it, and I just hope that you can forgive me. And then there's dead silence, right? And depending upon the person to whom you've just laid yourself bare, they may play that a little bit, right? My mother is a master at this. Maybe all mothers are. But she'll stand there for a few minutes. Could you repeat that, she might say? Easy. But even if it only takes 10 seconds, for those 10 seconds, we are in agony. We have absolutely put everything out there if we've truly asked for forgiveness. And we're vulnerable. And there's, of course, the chance that the person might say to us, no, I'm not going to forgive you. I think I'm going to put that in my grudge pile. But I would be willing to bet that most of the time, the person does offer us true forgiveness. And in those moments where there is true forgiveness, a new connection, a new space of love and acceptance is created. And if we truly can step into that, amazing things can happen. But we don't like going there. But it is the basis of all healing. So we moved from forgiveness to talking last week about emotional healing. Again, I think this is a place where we have to be really, really vulnerable. If we really want to heal these old hurts, some of which we've been carrying around for a long time, sometimes we bury those old hurts so very, very well that we don't even know what the hurt is. But we know that something is impacting the way we behave in the here and now, and that it needs to be fixed. Psychiatrists and psychologists make a mint off of all of us who carry around these old wounds that need to be healed. And they can be healed. We can go back and we can heal them through prayer and through our relationship with Jesus Christ. Now, praying for physical healing should be, and seems like it is, the easiest thing to do. Trust me, I have been praying for a month to be healed of this pneumonia. God seems to have some different plans at the moment, but eventually it will come, right? Eventually it will, like spring, it'll be here someday. It would seem like our first response to being ill would be that we ask God to heal us, but we don't do that very often. Most of the time, asking God to heal us physically is sort of the last resort. Now, I think there's a lot of reasons for this. I think, first and foremost, we probably don't ask God for healing because we simply don't believe we're worthy of God's intervention in our life in that way today. We just don't think it happens. What a shame that the God who we proclaim Sunday after Sunday, and hopefully some days during the week, who is powerful and grace-filled and merciful, and who created us, wouldn't think we are worthy of healing us when we are sick? It makes no sense. We got to get rid of that. The other reason I think we don't ask for physical healing is sort of the opposite of that, and that is that we simply think we can do it ourselves. So why would we bother God with our pesky request to have physical healing? We are so self-sufficient in our society that we believe we can do absolutely anything ourselves. If we're sick, we go to the doctor, or we go to CVS, or we go wherever, and we get what we need, either pharmaceuticals or homeopathic medicine, and we make ourselves well. We simply don't need God to intervene in that way. Related to that, I think, is the fact that we kind of feel embarrassed to ask for help. We are a self-sufficient lot, as I just said. We like to do things for ourselves. Even ones this age figure out it feels good to do it for yourself. Get dressed by yourself, put your shoes on by yourself, pick your clothes up by yourself, make yourself better by yourself. We don't like to ask for help. It feels like we fail if we have to ask for someone for help. It puts it out there very publicly if we are asking God to help us heal. I also think we don't believe it works. We are very quick to attribute healings to something else. My favorite line from the gospel this week is this one. pocket of his pants. And I thought, that's kind of weird. Wonder what he's doing. So the next Sunday came, and here came Zach, and he put his hands out, and I put a wafer in his hand, and the wafer very quickly went into his pocket. Third Sunday came, same thing, wafer in hand, wafer in pocket. Finally, I decided I needed to ask the priest who I was working with what he thought of that, and George said, yeah, I noticed that too, I don't know, maybe he just doesn't like wafers, I don't know. And I said, well, Jesus doesn't really belong in his pocket. Jesus is much more effective if we take Jesus inside. Don't you think we should talk to him? And he said, no, but if you want to talk to him, you go ahead and talk to him. So the next Sunday, they came, hands went out, wafer went in the hand, wafer went in the pocket. So after church, I found George and said, I'm going to go talk to Zach. And he said, great. So I found Zach, and I sat down with him, and I said, Zach, you really like coming for communion, don't you? And he said, yes, it's really powerful. Jesus is very strong. And I said, well, that's good. Don't you think it's better to eat Jesus than put Jesus in your pocket? And he started to cry. And I felt about this big. And I said, well, why are you crying? And why is Jesus going in your pocket? And he said, I have to take Jesus home to Mommy. Mommy is sick, and Jesus will make her well. So we started going to visit Mommy and taking Mommy communion. Mommy was very sick at that time. And Mommy was added to the prayer list, and people started praying for Mommy, and Mommy was added to other prayer lists. And the specific prayer was that Mommy be free of cancer. That's what Zach told us we needed to pray for. He didn't want anything else. He wanted those words specifically. Now, Zach knew something very important about prayers for healing. Zach knew that you had to listen very, very carefully. That you had to listen sort of with one ear to what the person was saying to you, what they wanted, what they were experiencing, what they needed. And you had to listen sort of with the other ear to what God was saying to you. Not only what God was saying to you about this person, but what God was saying to you about what you needed to do. And Zach got it. He got that he needed to listen and he needed to act. And that's what healing prayer is about. There's another piece to healing prayer and to asking for physical healing, and that is that it happens in and through and with community. You'll notice that all of the stories of Jesus' healing happen in the context of community. We do our prayers of the people in the context of community. How many of you have ever put someone on the prayers of the people who's not from this parish? How many of you have put someone on the prayers of the people and you know that they're on prayers in other places as well? We do that because we believe that the community of Christ exists in this big sort of ball of humanity that is praying without ceasing for the intentions that we ask. Healing happens in this context. And this context, I would say, almost alone. There may be healings that happen sort of off privately, but I think in both they happen in this context. And so, again, today, we will have the opportunity during communion. Reverend Keller, who is a very powerful healing minister, although he's more than 6 years old. Will again be back in the baptismal font. You are welcome during communion to come to him, and he listens very, very carefully. And be held in the context of this community as we all healing presence in our lives.